Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I was
Looks
feeling.
wonderful weather there.
Say again.
Great weather.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
Sun shining.
nice, mate.
Uh, I can show you a little bit from Würnlos. In the meantime, are you still there?
Yes, we're still here.
50 meters more, and we will be at home in my house. Okay, we are here.
Okay.
That's our house. That's the bird room. That's our house. That's an old one from 1928. Inside it's completely new, and the bird room, the birdhouse we made for the birds. It's 6.5 meters with 13 meters. Here's the garden. Well, we don't have time to watch the garden. Can do that another time. Good. Here's the entrance to the bird room, and here's the entrance to the living room. Here's our living room. Do you want me to start, or what you?
Yes, please.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Wait, just I go upstairs. Good. So, welcome everyone. I hope now everybody's in. I'm happy and proud that it works. Thanks for the invitation from the Australian Bocce Club. I never did that for Australia. As everybody know, that Switzerland is about on the other side of the world. That means very far away from Australia. And I was lucky enough to pay Australia a visit, 2014 and 2015. I was twice there and spent more than 5 months. Not only in Australia. We also have been in Fiji, and afterwards we went to Thailand and Cambodia. We had a wonderful time with wonderful people. I was visiting different breeders. Some I knew from before, some I met newly there, and with some of them I still keep contact. We had a wonderful experience down under, very nice people. At the beginning it was hard to understand because the accent is really strong, and but after a few weeks you get used to it. I saw lots of good birds there, but I realized that Australian people do not like to work together. What's surprising. I have a group of friends around me where we exchange birds, and yeah, I think like this, it's easy to make big progress. And if you only look for yourself and don't trust each other, it's hard to make progress. I saw a lot of interesting features. I saw some directional feathering. I saw the blow. I saw good feather length, but every start had a few good features, and the start looked quite different from each other. But people, I told some to work together, but as far as I know, they didn't do it. And I think that's if you want to make progress, you have to work together. well, that's actually not what you wanted me to talk about. You wanted me to introduce about myself. Okay, my name is Daniel Luetolf. I'm 51 years old. Hello?
You're right.
Okay,
Keep
okay.
going, Daniel.
Okay, somebody was saying something I didn't understand. I'm breeding bocce for more than 40 years. At first, it started with two small ones, pet quality. It was Giovanni. He was getting 16 years old, and he was split blue, split cinnamon, split opaline, and split lutino. And for me, that was a very important experience to see that the bird with a normal hen can produce completely different colors and completely different varieties. And for me, that was an important experience that makes me interested in it.
I've got him on here.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Mute, please.
I realized at the beginning it's fascinating to work with colors, and a few years later I bought from a local breeder an opaline sky blue English bocce, a big one. And at the beginning I thought it's very ugly, and I was thinking about bringing him back. I didn't like him at all, but then I bought a second one and I paired them up, and in a few weeks something in my mind changed, and after that I didn't like the small ones anymore. I liked the big ones, and then I started to breed with the big ones. I have, as you can see before, I have a big bird room on 2 floors with a total of 96 breeding boxes. 2 flights upstairs, 1 big flight downstairs. The flights upstairs, as you can see, these are for the baby birds and for the birds that stopped breeding. Downstairs is the youngster flight, and also some older birds are in there. At the moment, it's high season for breeding. I started in May, June, and I will stop at the end of the year, December about. That means 7-8 months I'm breeding, and the rest of the time is resting time for the birds. Resting time is good and important for me, for the family, and also for the birds. I think many people do not make a break, and after a few years they stop with the hobby because they get annoyed, because you shouldn't become a slave from your hobby. You should enjoy it. But if it's too much work and not enough free time for yourself, it can become misery, and then suddenly people decide to leave the hobby. Over here we don't have so many young breeders. That's a pity. I think there's a lot of other attractions for young people. Breeding bocce is a hobby, as everybody knows, that is 365 days a year. And you cannot say, okay, now I'm not in the mood, the next 2 days I don't do anything. You have to feed them, you have to clean them, you have to give fresh water daily. If you don't do that, you're quickly in a misery. So I started breeding with 11, the first birds, but then seriously I became with 14, 15 years old. I met a guy, his name was Heinrich Ott. He was around 47 at that time. Now he's 83, and he helped me a lot. I'm not sure whether I still would be in the hobby without Heinrich Ott. Heinrich Ott, he invited me to visit him, and he showed me his birds, and I was very impressed. They were far better than what I had. He was one of the best Swiss breeders. And he told me, look, Daniel, these are my best couples here, and these are their smallest babies. That's what you can get. And at the beginning, I was thinking, well, that's not very nice to sell me the smallest babies. And but I bought them. I also bought birds with thoughts, like ticked bird with flackies. I bought birds with handicapped leg or with no wings on one side, and old birds, things like this. And with some of them I had luck, with some of them I had no luck. But what I realized from him, that these little birds will reproduce much better quality than the original ones. And that was for me a very important experience, to see that the genes are stronger than what you can see visually. So also nowadays, if you have to change chance to buy a visual good bird from a average stud, or an average bird from a top stud, I'm 99% sure that the visual lesser bird with top pedigree will reproduce better quality, simply because it's mathematic. The genes always come back. All the good stuff, what you put into your birds, comes out, and also the bad stuff. In Australia, for example, I saw lots of flecked birds. I don't know. I don't say flaky is generally bad. Well, nobody likes it. But as I also could see in Australia, the quality, the good feather quality, is somehow linked to flecked birds. And I saw in Australia flecked birds that are winning. In Europe, they're completely banned. Not banned, but if there's two equal birds, or similar birds, one is ticked and the other one is clean, it's always the clean one that is winning. And I think that's correct. In Australia, yeah, I guess 96, where the big import from UK was. I guess at that time a lot of flecked birds came in. And yeah, flecked birds always often have better quality than the normal ones. And now you still can see, I would say, on the show where I was, that was the National in Adelaide in 2014, in June 2014. It was a great show, excellent organized, with video chat all over the world. And the spectators were very how do you say, it was silent, nobody was speaking. You could see what the judge was doing, but every did it very respectful. The maximum what they did was speak a little bit, but the judges had absolutely full concentration. And I was impressed the way they did it. And I think that's the way it should be. Completely, the judge must be completely focused of his job, and his job is to find the best birds. And what I wanted to say is that I was looking through the birds, and a lot of flecked birds were winning, and they were quality-wise better than the clean ones. But I still think you actually should try to avoid it. I have no problem to let cinnamon opaline flecked hen that is far, far better than anything else in the class. But then it must be an outstanding bird. But normally a flecked bird shouldn't win. I like to work with flecked birds. I mean, you can easily introduce them. I use them, for example, for spangles that do not have enough markings. I think by a flecked bird is a bird that has too much melanin, and to get better markings into the spangles, I'm using flecked birds. I think that can help. And generally, I think you should try, if you have a bird that has too much feather, you must try to get that feather at the right place. You don't want it into the wings, you don't want it in the tail, you don't want it on the body, but you want to have the long feathers in the head. And that's the art, to get the feathers at the right place. And that only works with selection. Let's say you have a big buffy cock in cinnamon sky blue, and you pair that bird to an opaline gray yellow face spangle, and that is short feathered and too small for showing. Let's say you make 3 rounds, and in an ideal world you get 16 youngsters from a couple like this, then you have a good choice to make the selection, and only go on with the birds you really like, only gonna go on with the birds that have the features you want. And I think there are 2 stages of breeding budgies that are very important. One is to put the right birds together, choose the right partners. And I like to make love matings. Afterwards, when we go to the bird room, you will see some couples that you like and some couple where you don't like it. And the couples where you don't like it too much, these are the couples that were love couples that from the flight. I would say 50–60% of my breeding pairs are love couples. And often they choose a bird that they really like, they choose an opposite. But with love couple, I have very good experience. I think almost never it happens that they start fighting or that they kill the chicks. And if you put pairs together that do not really like each other, if you're lucky, you get fertile eggs. But then suddenly the cock attacks the hen, or the hen attacks the cock, or the cock attacks the chicks. That doesn't happen with love couples, in my experience. And I let love couples breed as long as they have not the same thought. I don't breed no tail with no tail, or a bird with flecky with a flecked bird. Never double the thought, because if you double up the thought, you make it dominant. Many people are asking me always how I produce the directional feathering. And that's actually always the same. If you see a bird that has a little bit directional feathering, you have to pair him to a bird that also has directional feathering, and so on. And you always have to multiply the feature you're looking for. And when you breed enough youngsters, you can make a proper selection, and then you can give the direction where you want to go to. Let's say you want to breed, you like to breed birds with big spots, then just pair up the birds with the biggest spots. And if you have 100 youngsters, keep the 30 best ones with the biggest spots. And if you make this a few years, let's say 5 years, you will have a lot of birds with big spots. When I was a young boy and went to the gymnasium, we had to select flies and make experience with flies. Flies with one wing only and some bad things. But I was very fascinated about this, that it's possible to take influence on the evolution, and and it works. It has lots to do with mathematics. I used to teach mathematics, and as long as I went to school, I didn't understand the fascination about mathematics. But when I was teaching, I was more than 20 years teaching primary school, 3 years, and afterwards 17 years secondary schools. When I was teaching my kids at school, I realized that mathematics is absolutely fantastic. It's wonderful, it's fascinating, because it works. And it's the same with breeding budgies. It's not only mathematics, but mathematics helps. Often you get the result that you want, but not all the time. Sometimes you're very disappointed. Sometimes you're absolutely surprised about the quality of the chicks. But most of times you get the result that you want. And what I also realized is that often it's not the father or the mother that is dominant for the quality. It's the grandfather or the grandmother. That means the quality jumps over one generation. It's not the F1, it's the F2 generation that brings back the quality. That's a very important fact that most people, well, I think they read about, but they do not really believe it. But you must see it yourself, and then when you trust that what you are writing about, reading about. Okay. I go through the list with the that Wayne sent me. Do you want to see that in the breeding room, or do you want to see?
Yeah, can you give us a tour through your room now, Daniel?
Yes. As I told you before, when we go into the room, it will be noisy. And okay, let's go downstairs, and I'll speak about the things you want. Oh, my dog is still outside. He wants me to play with him, but I have no time now. Okay, he's a good boy. Good. Okay. So here are we in the breeding room. These are two big flights for the mainly babies, but there are also some adult birds in here. Oh, wait. Good. That's a breeding couple that had 3 eggs now. I stopped with them, and most of the other birds that you can see in here are baby birds. That one, of course, not. So here's the baby flight. We have fresh water here, very important. Then we have seed. That's a sort of grit. Sand. That's Japanese. And here you can see my soft food. There are different vegetables in. Carrots, fenouil, red beet, onion, garlic. I don't know all the English words, but the birds are getting this about 2-3 times a week. It depends how much time I have. I also feed them a lot of millet, red millet. My friend Guillaume Crochet is producing them in France, and that hen, for example, she wants to breed with that cock, and yeah, they need a few more weeks to recover. Then I will pair them up. There's nothing wrong with that couple. I like the combination, and yeah, so I will pair them together. Young baby cobalt. Well, you look, that's Jumbo. He's the bird of my daughter. He's completely tame. Yeah, that's why he's still here. Maybe one day my little daughter niece will watch the video, and she will be happy to see him. Well, we look to the other birds later. So here are my breeding cabinets. Everything is on wheels. That means I easily can take it away. You see, I can move it. Understand? I can. That's perfectly for me for cleaning. If I don't want it anymore, I can bring it back. So the whole system, the whole stuff in my breeding room, it's all on wheels. Below the breeding cabinet, there's space for, there's not much left. Let me see. There's space for the millet or for other stuff that I want to keep somewhere. It's dust-free down here, and it's good to have enough space to put things down. So that's always a block with 20 cages. That's cage 1 to 20. That's box 21 to 40. That's the block 41 to 60. Here is, you cannot see it, but there's a different block again. Yeah, and here's another baby flight, the same as before. In here are also baby birds, and that was a breeding couple, the two golden face, Australian golden face. I like them a lot, and I think obviously they arrived the first time in Australia. That's why they are called golden face. That's a new mutation. That's the golden face, cinnamon opaline, melanistic spangle. I like that mutation a lot. You don't see them yet very often, but I'm sure in a few years they will become very popular. That's the baby recessive, a little bit, maybe too many feathers. It depends how it will develop after the first and second mold. Okay, that's my room upstairs. I will show you the things downstairs. Another important feature for me is to have the I don't know the English word, to clean the dishes.
Dishwasher.
Dishwasher. It becomes very, very hot in here, and yeah, here I can cook my eggs, and that's the fridge with yeah, something to drink. There's not much here for the moment. Some eggs, pepperoni, and here is some stuff I'm using. I'm not using all of this. I should throw a lot of things away. What I'm using regularly is that's a disinfectant. That's another disinfection for people. Whenever people are coming at the moment because of the COVID, as everybody knows, we don't touch each other. We use disinfection, we use the mask, and so on. And yeah, so let me see, what was your question? I try to answer a few questions and to show you some nice birds at the same time. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to do that, but I try. So about the soft food, well, that you can see it on videos I made. On every video there was completely explained what kind of soft food I'm using. All I can tell you is that it's all fruits I'm using is organic vegetable, organic grown. And yeah, for me that's very important. Also my family, we only eat organic food. It costs more, but I think it's worth it. And also the millets I'm using, they are expensive compared to other ones, but yeah, they are better in quality. And my birds, if they have to choose to eat them or from another company, they don't eat the other ones because they also know what's good for them. Okay, about the soft food, I already told you, I do it about 2-3 times a week, and 2-3 times a week they get soaked oats. Today they get vegetables, and yeah, tomorrow they get salted oats again. About the feeding supplement, well, what you can see here, That's my own mixture with I think 8 different seeds in here. You see the, the red millet, and I would say that's 80%, and the fresh water, of course. 80% of my birds, that's what 80% of my birds are eating daily, and I think I'm always surprised how much money people spend for silly things like supplements. I think it's a complete waste of time and mainly money, because the supplements, if you feed them fresh vegetables and fresh fruits, there's a lot of good stuff in there, so you don't need any artificial products. You don't need um, vitamins, because that's all in the, if you have a good seed, if you have good fruit, that's all in there. That means you don't need it. That's my opinion, but I'm sure yeah, that's, I think it works for me. Something else is about what's in here. People wrote me, what do you feed? These are different kinds of minerals. I have about 20 different minerals, and birds, they like to eat a lot of minerals, and especially when they have babies. And yeah, I feed a lot of this, because obviously my birds are getting what they like, and they like to eat a lot of minerals. And I'm sure if you want to produce the best possible feather structure, they need a lot of amino acids, and also minerals are very helpful. Here there's a group of 3 cocks and 3 hens. They're all young birds, and they're all, how shall I say, difficult. They're all 20 birds, now one is a 19 bird. And I'm struggling to find a partner for them. I like them all a lot, but up to now, they're not interested to go into the breeding box. And I thought maybe if a few birds are together, they get more stimulated. Often, if I have one excellent cock, let's say that one I like a lot, he has all the features I want to see in a bird, I gave him 2-3 hens to choose from, and after a few days you see immediately which bird that he likes, and that's the bird I will let him breed. That doesn't work all the time. It can be very difficult. You have to be careful to do that, because hens, I never had 2 cocks that killed each other, but hens, if they're not happy with their choice, or if they see any other hen as a concurrence, they are quickly, it's easily, quickly that they kill another one. That's box number 2. I don't want to say the same things like at the Darford Society meeting already.
I see.
Can you see? That's a typical combination: opaline, cocked gray green, split cinnamon with a cinnamon dark blue hen. I have 3 chicks at the moment, 2 opaline hens, and there must be somewhere. That's the 3rd one. He's too young. Yeah, he had 3 hens like this to choose from, and he decided for that hen, and yeah, they do everything the way I want. For me, it's very important to have high fertility. And if we watch the nests, here for example, there are 4 own fertile eggs plus 2 from another couple. That's also a last couple. The cock, you don't see the size, it's not a big bird, but I like his spots. And she's quite a big hen, and she's a young one, and he's an adult. And if birds or hens or cocks do not have good fertility. I sell them, no matter how they look like. And if you do this regularly, you get birds that are very fertile. If you only go on with the birds that are fertile. That's another box here. You see, if something is written on the birds, here a Lutino that comes from another couple, this egg is either hatching today or is dead, and you see the other eggs are all good. Here is a hen with no cock. I sold the cock, now she's for her own. I will wait until the babies are old enough to put the ring on. Then I will take the birds away and give it to another couple. Here is a recessive couple, recessive pies. That's one of my most wanted varieties. I started, that was the first difficult variety I wanted to make progressive. I don't know how it's, for me the picture isn't clear. Can you see it properly at your place? Hello?
Yes, we can, Daniel. It is very clear.
Is it clear? Okay,
Yes.
because for me, when I watch it, it doesn't look that clear. Here's a digital cock. It's very, very good quality-wise, but it's very picky with the hens, and
Daniel, just
I like
move your phone slowly, but when you're moving, just move it slowly.
Okay. Yeah, he has all the features I want to see on the bird, but I just had a few. Last year he bred well with one hen. That hen died, and since that I'm struggling to find. This hen is not an easy hen, but at least he likes that one. Up here is a big boy. They're also on 4 own fertile eggs and 2 from another couple. That means if you look at the eggs, one egg is from couple 14 and the other one is from couple 5.
Daniel, a question. In your breeding cages, I see you have, is it 2 water containers sometimes?
Say again?
Do you have 2 water containers in your breeding cages?
Water containers.
Yeah, do you have?
Here. That's here. You mean this stuff?
Yeah, do you have?
That's not water. I forgot to tell you. That's a very good stuff. That's a stuff called fonio paddy. It comes from Africa, from Uganda. It's very expensive, but my birds are loving that. They are saying it's a natural help against coccidiose. I'm not sure whether it's true or not, but all I know is that my birds, they are loving it. And they get it in here it's normal water. I change this daily. They got sepia bone, and yeah, that's the normal stuff. I try to breed more greens. I sold in the last few years a lot of blues and grays, because for me the green series is at least as beautiful as blues. And when I started breeding budgies as a boy, I was told that light green is the king of the color, but over here in Europe you don't see greens in good quality. And that's why if you're going through the boxes, you will find a lot of green birds. Most breeders around here, they have 80% blues and grays in their aviary, and I had the same problem. Well, a problem, I don't know whether a problem, but the same fact. and now I really want to breed a lot of green ones. This hen, she's a direct daughter from my Europa show winner, European show winner 3 years ago, a cinnamon sky blue. That's a young bird that is having now for the first time 2 chicks. I like him a lot. He was very picky with the hens. Now I find a good hen for him. She's a small, stylish hen. She bred perfectly in winter time. That's why I choose this hen for him, and he seems to be lucky with it. And this pied and the bigger cinnamon, these are 2 own ones, and the spangle and that one are from a different couple. Box 9, also a bird I like a lot. Very stylish, he flies perfectly. That's for me also an important issue. Is a bird able to fly? And if he, yeah, I want in 1 2 year, I want to have only birds that are able to fly easily. That's another feature I'm very eager to go for. Yeah, he has all the features you want to see for a show bird. And also good fertility, very good. And he has that eel face that I like a lot, and he's at the moment in top condition. Yeah. But to explain again, small, short feathered hen. He flies perfectly. That guy here, he's too big to fly. So he needs a hen with a claw. Also, if you see the head feather, it's too opened. You can see through, it's too much flow. That's why it is a hen that is very close in the feather. Up here, the spangled cock. Lovely face. His problem is that he has not enough markings. That's why I choose, let me see whether it comes out or not. Ah, there's the first egg in here. Yeah. That's a young cock that is now getting in, yeah, that's the behavior you want to see. He's happy, he's singing, and yeah. Let's go back to the spangle. This is a very big hen that has a little bit of ticket. Oh, she doesn't want to show, so we go to another box. Are you still there?
Yes, we're still here, mate. You're doing well.
Okay. That's an average gray-green cock, a young one. I was thinking about selling him, but then, oh wait, there's a bird outside. I have quickly to catch it. Obviously, they went out before when I was not. Okay. That cock isn't something for the big bird, but he has all the features I like to see. He has the blow, he has the directional feathering, short body feather, good length, good spot. But that couple bred me some of the best chicks in the first round. Now they're on the second round, and I certainly will go on with them. To see the quality of the chicks, it's too early. Well, the golden face here is not from that couple, but these are own chicks. That one as well. That one as well. I like golden face, but I also like yellow face. I also have a lot of yellow face in my green series. That means you can buy a green cock of mine and you will get yellow face. It's I like them, and somehow the quality seems to go often into the yellow face. That's why I kept along a lot. This is a young cock with a hen that already bred. Yeah, again, big buffy cock with a sort of feathered hen. Yeah, I think my cinnamon yellow-faced grays are the best birds I have, because I have a lot of good cinnamon yellow-faced grays, and also other people that are buying birds from me, they have very good results in that color. Don't ask me why, but I think there's somehow color can be linked to quality. Some baby birds. That was also a love couple. Let me see. That's a cock. He's a grandson from the European show winner last year. Cinnamon grey green, similar features. And the hen, she was difficult. She didn't breed with any others. Now with that cock, she seems to be very happy. And they have 4 chicks. I don't like to breed cinnamons with cinnamons, but sometimes you have to do it. Here as well, for example. Yeah. He's also with a cinnamon hen. Well, they're both shy birds. Hard to see them. And now you can see the cock at least. That's always that's the face I want to go for. And in the meantime, I think most of my birds are having that face. Oh, there's another baby that came out. We have to put him back.
So a question, Daniel.
Yes.
When you're not breeding, where do you keep all your birds? In what flight?
What do you mean? Ah, downstairs. There's a big flight downstairs.
Okay.
Often, because I don't have enough space, often after breeding, I'm selling the older ones and go on with the young ones. Like this, yeah, I try to keep my stud young. I don't have enough space. I breed a few hundred chicks a year, and they need space. And yeah, I will show you the big slides downstairs afterwards. That's a Spangled cock I like a lot, with perfect markings. He also flies perfectly, and he was choosing a grey-green hen. She's a baby. She's laying eggs the first time. Well, she's not relaxed on fertile eggs. And now you can see her.
Daniel, you also showed us a Latino hen the other night.
Latino hen.
Remember that one the other night?
Well, I don't remember, to be honest.
Okay.
There are lots of Latino hens. I will show you a few Latino couples later.
Okay.
I'd like to breed yellow face violet spangles, and yeah, with that combination here, I'm close to get the right features together. I like the cock a lot. I like the hen a lot, and they bred 4 chicks in the first round, and now they have fertile eggs again. Here, that's a recessive couple. I don't know whether they are popular or not in Australia. I like them a lot. She's a young hen, and the cock here, he was the best bird at the European show in the recessive tide last year. This year, there wasn't any show, as everybody knows. Yeah, and to show you it's always the same. It's a seed mixture with a millet, and either they get Celtic oaks, or today they get the vegetable seed mixture. Here's another couple. That's both medium birds, both showbirds. Yeah, both not big, both not small, both in the middle. That was also a love couple, and they bred some very, very nice cinnamon opaline hens in the first round. All the birds that you can see here, they are now in the second mold, on the second round. Not all, but most of them. That's an old guy, he's 4 years old, and I'm very happy that he's fertile again. He always was breeding with 2 hens, a normal grey-green and a cinnamon grey-green opaline. And both hens are also 4 years old from 2017, and both hens died now. And I was struggling to find a new partner for him because I like him a lot. And now I could find this hen for him, and I'm sure they will produce nice chicks for me. That bird here for me is close to the ideal. He was taking a shower. That's why it's hard to see it. Up here, there's a big boy. That's a grandson of him. Many people like this cock. For me, he's over the top. He's too extreme. That's why he's paired to a very short, feathered, small hen. And he locks the style. He locks the beauty, what I like. Of course, he has some super features, but yeah, it's not the bird I go crazy for. Down here, that's one from the same family. It's already better. That's a baby cock. Always the same principle. Small hen with short feathers paired to a big buffy cock. They are both young ones, baby birds. Normally I try to put an adult bird with a baby. Here, that's a love couple from downstairs. They're both baby birds, and yeah, the hen should lay today or tomorrow her first egg. I can feel it already. That's 299, a bird many people like a lot. I like him also, but he's very difficult. I just had a few youngsters from him, but he's a famous bird around him. He's now with a hen, and there's, I think, 1 or 2 eggs are okay from him. That's a couple from box 31 that did excellent for me. First, I didn't want to use the cock because he has tickets. Let me see him. But the hen is a very important bird for me, so I tried to find a suitable partner for her, but she didn't accept any. And then she chose herself this cock. I mean, he's perfect, but he has flackies. And I mean, as I told you before, I breed a few hundred birds a year, so I really can make the selection and only keep the ones with the features I like most. And he's a son from 299. As I told you, 299, let me show him. He's difficult, but he's not a big bird, but yeah, a lot of things that you want to see on a bird. And as I told you, that's a love couple, and the result is good. Oh, that's a pride from another couple, but these 2 chicks I like a lot. You can already now see the quality. They will become showbirds. That hen might get flecked, but this cock you can see already now. He will become a perfect showbird and very clean. Round, if you see the feathers going down, that's what makes the difference. The feather around the beak going down, and the position of the eye is not close to the beak. It's much more behind. and that makes the bird get also a good shoulder and a good back school. That's if a bird has back school, he looks much nicer. And you see that that's a baby that that I will keep for myself for sure. He has all the features. There's a third bird from that couple in another box. That one is not as good as these two, and that will be for sale then. Are you still there?
Yes, we are. We're just amazed.
Not sleeping yet.
No, not yet.
No, no sleep.
They just started to lay again. I want to breed more Spangle this year. That's a violet Spangle Grey, and they had 6 fertile eggs, and I was in summer holiday 3.5 weeks, so only 2 survived, but they're both very, very nice. The hen has the ring number 007. That's James Bond. I always like to keep birds with ring number 777. Oh, she's not in condition. Up here, there's a dilute couple. They just start laying, and I just took the babies away. I'm afraid the eggs are clear this time. Dilute yellow face as well. That's the color I like. With the dilute normal, they bred some nice chicks in the first round. Look at that top. That's the style. That's the feather I like. Breeding budgie is always about pairing the right feather structures together. And that one, yes.
I noticed your nesting material, Daniel, in your nest box.
Yes, that's hemp.
Hemp.
Bro. Hemp. You can smoke it. Little joke.
Yes.
It's hemp. It's now you're gone. Are you still here?
Yeah, we are.
Big top, and that's a small young hen, and that's the third baby from the couple before, where I said the quality isn't that good. There's a nice violet coming, but he's also not the only one. And this one and the pied and this one, their own babies. Normally I only leave them 4 babies to feed up. That's the hemp material. Hoi Sputzli. Ja, die Australier sehen dich jetzt. Soll ich Grüezi sagen? That's my daughter. She's a big helper.
So your children are heavily involved as well, Daniel?
Again?
Your children are heavily involved?
Well, my daughter, she used to be interested in budgies a little bit, but since we have a dog, she lost her interest completely. And the little one, she's quite interested. Yeah, she has that couple where she looks at. She was choosing the partner for that cock. He's difficult. He's also 4 years old. He's one of my main breeders. Last year I had almost no chicks from him, and my daughter was finding this hen for the cock, and I told her she's too young, but my daughter, she insisted. She says she's sure that they will breed together, and now they have 5 chicks. 5 gray cocks, and in another box there's number 5. And yeah, I'm sure they were going to be useful birds. Not extreme, not big, but perfectly to go on. The cock is also too big. He can't fly properly. The little hen, she breeds like a colibri. Yeah, but she has a top pedigree. She's a daughter from that cock here. That's another bird I like a lot. There are 5. There are 4 here. One, the biggest one I took away, plus 3 more birds and plus 3 more eggs to hatch. Look at this little cock. He's probably the smallest bird I'm breeding with, but he's super stylish. Let's see whether he turns around, then you can see it. And now it's the first time that I have a lot of chicks. Up to now, she's an older hen. I always had bad luck with him, but I continue that. Normally, a bird like him I would sell because I had not many chicks, but I like him so much. That's why I decided to go on. And now I'm lucky, and I have. They laid 8 fertile eggs, this couple. This hen is also a funny story. She bred perfectly in the first year. She's a yellow face. And last year, this winter, I tried her again, and she didn't lay an egg. So I wanted to give her away. But, well, she stayed here. Nobody wanted to buy her. And then I was struggling to find a partner for the cock. And he chose that hen, and I thought, well, I'm not happy about the combination, but what shall I do? And now she laid 8 fertile eggs. That's, yeah, budgies are funny. You never know how it works. Going back to that box 35, it's an old dark green cock. That's a love couple, not ideal because he's split cinnamon. Just a moment. Sag schon mal. Okay, good. My daughter just told me that she saw in box 15 there are different birds in there. She likes to see which birds like each other. And she often tells me, look, Daddy, you have to pair up this and this couple together because, yeah, they were feeding each other or even mating in the flight downstairs. Going back to that, that's a cinnamon opaline, yellow face, clearwing. Clearwings I know are very popular in Australia. They have fantastic color, but they are quite small. And yeah, it's always a thin. It's always difficult to see the difference between quality and color. Oh, that cock is a young one. We bred some super chicks. This is direct son from my old Gregory. He died now, but he was a legendary bird. He was slightly different. I don't know why he's so aggressive. That's for me again a bird, yeah, close to perfection. He's not 100% fit. Well, maybe he's stressed because of the iPhone. They're not used to that. But if you see, he's live perfectly. He's good in the hand, short body feather, tail not too long. The position, let me see, the position of the wings. Yeah, that's the bird I want to see. And that's also the bird that goes for the show. That's a golden face hen.
Excuse me, Daniel. We've had a question. Yes. What were some of the other minerals that you have in the finger drawers, Daniel?
Well, I told before I have about 30 different minerals. Yep. And I can't tell you the names. Whenever I go to a show or if people ask me, can you bring something with you? I tell them, yes, bring me some minerals from your country. So I have really a lot of minerals from many different countries. Don't ask me for the names because I simply can't tell you. But I think each mineral has, yeah, I cannot say that's the best and that's not good. But all I know is that my birds are getting lots of minerals, and most of the time I fill it up about once a week. If you do it all the time, well, you can do it all the time. Some birds, they eat that much, but I'm sure that minerals are extremely important. If you watch wild budgies, you can see that they fly. I was in Australia, but I was trying to find wild budgies, but I had no luck. I never saw. But from movies, I know that budgies, they like to go on the seed and they eat soil. And in the soil, there's a lot of minerals. And I also feed soil to my birds. And from the garden, I just took a piece that makes the birds look very dirty. That's why in the last 2 days they didn't get it, because when they eat it, they can become very, very dirty. Okay, here it's a nice couple to show you, to explain you something. There's a baby albino hen, and I had her together with my best clear body cock and another Lutino hen. And the hen, after a few hours, she killed the hen. I put the 3 birds together, and very short time after, she killed the hen. And I was afraid that she might do the same with the clear body cock. That's why I put her back to the flight, and I thought I will sell her. But then she chose that cock in the flight. It's a 2018 cinnamon gray green, a bird that has no chicks so far. And well, if she would kill him, I wouldn't be happy. But he's not. He's a bird that is for me almost finished. He's 18 bird and no chicks. And now they found each other, and I saw him mating. And it's not ideal for the color. But if you see the quality of the cock, I'm sure that you can get very nice chicks. Wait, he doesn't look nice at the moment. Yeah, he has a nice blow. And that's a combination that actually you shouldn't do. But Reinhard Molketin from South Africa, he told me 20 years ago that you don't see the difference between you cannot see the difference between a cinnamon and the normal Lutino. I'm not sure whether that's right or not. But yeah, I try to avoid cinnamons, but sometimes, yeah, you go for it. That's an albino couple, an albino hen with a split cock. I like him a lot. He's the father of one of my best birds. He's downstairs, super cobalt. I'm not sure. He doesn't want to see here. Yeah, now you can see the face.
So the branches in the cages, Daniel.
Yes.
They are?
Now at the moment it's willow. But willow tree. There's also a place in Switzerland where I can buy eucalyptus. I also feed eucalyptus, or I also feed hazelnut, and they like to play with it. They like to take a shower. They like to eat from the trees. Yeah, here's a recessive. I was told that the Spangles originally came out in Australia from the recessives. In my younger years, I was making combination of recessive to Spangles, but nowadays I don't do it anymore. And that's a typical combination of a love couple, and they bred very, very nice chicks. Yeah, for me. So only splits, but I don't care. He has a super face, but he's thick. But the youngsters, as far as I can see, they are clean. So not the ideal couple, but nice chicks. Here's a albino with a small Lutino hen. I'm not sure whether it works. I'm struggling to get youngsters from him. Um, that's an albino split cock with a young albino hen. They were mating. I'm sure that the eggs will be fertile. The young hen that soon starts laying eggs. You see the flecking. It's not a coincidence that the flecked bird is a split bird, because I like to put the flecked birds, if I want to breed with them, into the red eyes. Then you don't see it anymore. That's an 18 cock. He breeds and breeds and breeds. I think from him, I will sell him now. I got more than 30 youngsters. Unfortunately, this time all are cinnamons, but quality is good. All hens, all perfect. Yeah, but yeah, nothing spectacular, but good solid birds. And he is again a bird with all the features the way I want. Up here, oh, can you hear me?
Yes, you're back.
Somehow I was gone. That's a baby that, oh, some technical problem. Ah, here we go. Yeah, she's the hen. Normally I would sell the hen, but she's a direct daughter from the European chauvinist in Hungary. Probably the worst one I kept, or the worst one he bred. Yeah, that's not too far away of being a stylish hen. Yeah, but they bred me 4 chicks in the first round and now 4 chicks again. And all the chicks are far better than she is. So it was a good idea to keep them, I think. Here, that's my best violet cock. I'm very happy with the color. And he's together with a baby with a young yellow face cinnamon opaline pied hen. He also has a dark factor. It's not the normal sky blue, it's a violet sky blue. And I hope to breed violet yellow face pied. Yeah, anything with violet. If I have to answer what's my favorite color, I think I would say it's violet. That's why at the moment I'm breeding with lots of dark factors. Also down here, it's a violet with a violet cobalt. Having some chicks in here, but they're not all own ones. I think 2 or 3 are own ones. Yeah, 2 or 3 own ones, and this one is from box 39. Whenever I have to take notes, anything, I write it immediately down on the nest box with a stilo, and when I don't need it anymore, I can easily clean it out. In my younger years, I was writing everything on paperwork, but I think it's easier. And if that sign is here, or this, that means there's something special. Whenever I put something like this here, there are baby birds where I need to make the nest control. Let's say here, well, that's a stupid hen, she's a young one. She lays the eggs on the floor and they are fertile. He breeds, he's one of the cocks, is an 18 cock that breeds with every hen and breeds very good quality too. So perfect bird. And I thought she's a super hen that, well, they have fertile eggs, but she lays the eggs on the floor. And she's quite aggressive with me. because I tried to put her into the nest box, and she doesn't want to breed in the nest box. I will try her later again. That's the son from the cock above, a pied. Yeah, both birds, there's not much to criticize, so not too big, not too small. I would say both show quality birds. They bred some nice chicks in the first round. Unfortunately, no pies, only normals and one cinnamon opaline hen. But yeah, I hope that next round I get pies. The pies I have nowadays, I can say that 90% of my pies, they have the perfect markings and the perfect wings and tails, everything. I made a very strong selection, and I only kept the birds that really have perfect markings. And this cock here, he's paired to a hen, this cinnamon opaline hen, that comes out of pies. That means, I think, if you pair a pied cock to a normal bird that comes out of pies, you get better markings. That's a theory for me, but at least for me it works. I do the same with spangles. To get good spangles markings, I put, let's say it's here. Too early to see something. I always leave 4 babies for a couple. Here the cock is a big boy. Let me see the hen. The hen is a small one, nice face, short feathered, flies perfectly, and he's too big, he can't fly properly. He also doesn't get the tail anymore, and that's why he needs to be paired to a short feathered hen, and then it's good. So I would like to breed golden face spangles. The cock also has a dark factor, so he bred some cobalt. Are you still here?
Yes, Daniel.
Yes.
Daniel, can we come back to your breeding cages soon? We'll be able to have a look at your downstairs.
Wait, I don't have you on my...
Would we be able to have a look at your flights downstairs, Daniel?
Sure.
What
Wait, I have to... How much time more do we have? Because there's some baby birds. That's a melanistic spangle. I don't know how popular they are in the Australia. Around here, they aren't popular at all. But I want to show you how beautiful it is. The markings on the bird. Okay. Do you have a melanistic spangle in Australia or not?
Yes, we do, Daniel.
But yeah,
yes, we do.
That's it. Okay. Let me quickly. What else do I have to check? Yeah. Nice cock, nice hen, and 3 babies and 3 more eggs to hatch. That's what I want. That's what I want to see. With these birds, I continue, and with the birds that don't breed perfectly, if the hen is not laying a lot of eggs, or the cock only fills 1 or 2 eggs, I sell them. And if you make this for many generations, you get mainly birds that breed perfectly. Some double factor spangles. He also has the face I like. Not good markings. That's why he's paired to a hen that has too much markings. And I hope to breed some spangles with the ideal markings. That bird for me is close to the ideal, but he has no spots and no markings. That's why, yeah, I want to see an opposite. Some baby birds. Always, that's the face I like, that's the face I want to see in birds, and that's the face I'm breeding with. And if you always breed with the face that you like, you will get more and more birds with the face that you like. You see, they have quite similar face, but they're not close. They are all related, of course, but they're not close related. I never breed cousins together. I don't breed half sisters. I don't breed father to daughter or mother to son. I used to do that in my younger years. Breeding closely is good for the short success, but as I explained at the beginning, you multiply all the good features by making inbreeding, but you also multiply all the bad features. And every bird has good features and bad ones. And if a bird that you bred too close gets sick, that's not the problem. Get sick, I wanted to say. If a bird gets sick, he's not strong enough to fight against the virus. And if a bird is from not close related, they seem to be stronger. And yeah, that's why I don't think it's a good idea to breed too close. That's a melanistic Spaniel, probably my best cock. Look at the markings, and I think that's now the third generation of birds that I started with, and he has now the features that I like, and that's a baby melanistic. Well, let's hope so. The plastic egg is used because the hen is an old one. She's 5 years old, and she became very fat, but she still breeds. But because she's so fat, I'm afraid she might be too heavy for the babies. That's why I put in a plastic egg. There's a Lutino couple. They bred very nice chicks. That's the father, and that's one of the baby. That's another one. There's number 3. That's number 4, and number 5 is another cage. But yeah, they did well, and I'm sure first egg is already fertile again. By the way, the best Lutinos I've seen, one of the best Lutino studs in the world I've seen was in Australia, from Jeffrey Leong from Melbourne. Hello, Jeffrey, if you can hear me. I really admire his Lutinos. They have perfect feather and excellent color. What I like a lot is the deep color. Yeah. Okay, we have to hurry up. I have to leave in the afternoon. That's why I want to make quickly the nest control. There are 2 Lutinos. There are only 2 own babies. The other ones are from another couple. Here it's the opposite. The hen is excellent, and she's paired to an average cock. I wouldn't pair that hen to one of the big cocks, because she's already on the limit, and as you can see, the cock is smaller, short of feathered, and always go for the opposite. Not pair extreme to extreme, don't pair small to small, try to find the balance. That's, yeah, I learned that as a young guy, and I think that's still the solution. Here's another clear body couple. The hen is the golden face. Well, she doesn't want to show her. That's a clear body. Yeah, he has all the features. His big Lutino. That's one of the babies. Oh, that's an interesting couple. That's box 70. Average top, short to feathered, but very blowy, very stylish, with a big, big buffy hen. And they have 3 chicks, 3 own chicks, Lutinos from another couple. When I put eggs to another couple, I always try to find them easily. So from that couple, it's not possible that the Lutino is coming. That's why I know for sure from which couple they came from. And again, like before, big buffy hen to a shorter feathered cock, not to make the birds become too extreme. Have a look at that guy. Excellent, everything there. But look the hen. She's short feathered, flies perfectly. She can fly easily 5, 6, 7 meters in the flight downstairs, and the cock cannot do that. But for me, important first 2 eggs of fertile, and that style of hens, they lay 6, 7, 8 eggs, and that's you have lots of hens like this in Australia, but not many cocks that look like that one, I guess. But the combination of this bird is going close to what I think an ideal budgie. I want to try to breed as much ideal budgies as possible. And the easiest thing is if you, let's take that guy here. It's a baby cock. First round for him, and the hen, she's a last year hen. She already bred before. That was a love couple. They both had slightly tickets. That's why I wasn't sure to put them together. But I think, when the birds will be picked, you see, he has tickets. Otherwise, he has exactly the feather that I like. And it's the same with the hen. But that was a love couple, and not ideal. Normally I wouldn't pair them together, but the cock has a super pedigree. He's a single bird, no siblings, and I really want to get chicks from him. That's why I thought, okay, let's try it, and maybe the flackies come back, maybe they will disappear. That's a Lutino couple. So that must be a clear body. It's a clear body hen with a buffy Lutino cock. Let me see whether you can show him. Lutinos are always downstairs, and often they are more shy than the normal birds. I guess that's because of because they have red eyes. Here, there's just one hatched. Good. That's an old hen with a young cock. Yeah, everything the way it should be. With 20 cock. Green rings over here are 20 cocks, and blue rings are 2017 cocks. Yeah, look at the cock. He's not 100% in condition, but short body feather, nice blow, directional feathering, good shoulder. And the hen, you can see that she's not a young one anymore, but that's also a feature. She's 4 years old and she laid 6 fertile eggs. So that's what you want. That's a bird I want to show. We have a show on the weekend, a little show in Switzerland. He doesn't look straight in here, but if you see that bird in the showcase, he's outstanding. But in here is a good budgie. Certain birds are far better when they are in the breeding in the showcase than in the. Here you cannot see the quality, but the longer he stays in the, you can see the buffalo feather again above the cere. You see, this box we already had. Daniel,
some violet. Daniel, your perches in your breeding cages, are very, very large, some of them, except for the branches. Is there a reason for that?
The perches,
Yeah, they're very large. We
are
normally
they large? I don't know. Well, they have, you know, that's also the reason why I use branches. Branches, so birds can have different, well, I think big birds have bigger feet.
Yep.
And, well, a friend of mine, Kurt Fox, he's using much smaller perches than I do. I don't know. That's my cages are coming from Östringer, and that's the standard cage, and the standard perch. And well, I was never thinking about. But often the birds like to sit on the perch, on the tree, on the ashes, and how shall I say? Look at that one here. I think when you put trees in, the bird can choose where he wants to sit and where he feels comfortable. And many birds are sitting. Look at these two; they sit on the small perch. And if you, as I told you before, if they have different perches, they can choose. These ones are easy to clean. It's very important. I clean the perch every week. Well, I clean the whole cage every week. It's important that they have clean perches. Sometimes when I was visiting people, I realized that their perch are extremely dirty, and dirty perches, they can be dangerous because you can get all the infections. Often birds, birds have infected eyes, and most of the time that comes from perches that are not really clean. Okay, I need to drink something. Shall we make a short break?
Yes, yeah, that's fine. Yep, that's fine. Lucas, what do you think? Unmute everyone and let everyone talk about what they've seen.
If you want, you can collect some questions that you can ask me later, and I can answer a few. Maybe there's some more questions. I don't know.
Yep.
Well, you've been answering a lot of the questions as you go along, Daniel. You've been doing really well with it.
Well, just ask a question whenever somebody wants to ask something, or they shall write you, and you can ask me what you want me to ask. I just realized that I forgot to close a few cages.
How much time do you spend in your bird room daily?
How much time?
Yes.
Oh, I hope my wife isn't listening. Well, minimum is 2-3 hours, and that easily can go up to 8, 9, 10 hours. It depends. At the moment, it's high season with breeding budgies. We don't have as many visitors as we used to have, but yeah, it's still a lot of work to do, and well, I like to have it clean. I like to have everything written down, so that all needs time to do it properly. And I don't work regularly anymore as a teacher. I just work sometimes to give, how do you say, if somebody is ill or anything happens, they're calling me, and I go there for a few days. And I like doing that. Still doing a little bit teaching, but not too much. This cock here is an old bird. He's 5 years old, but he still had a complete. Watch the position of the wings, watch the proportions, and he's still fertile. That's why for me he's a very important bird. If you breed with birds that breed with 6 years, you can think that their offsprings also breed for many generations. And yeah, I think, as I told you before, every feature, every good feature go on somehow, and all the bad features go on as well. That means, yeah, if your hens only lay 2 eggs, they have outstanding faces, but they produce just a few eggs. Then there's a big chance that the youngsters will do the same. And on the other hand, if you work these hens that are, let's say, average, but always lay 6, 7, 8 eggs, you can fix this feature. It means breed a lot of eggs. And the same is with fertility. If you use cocks that are very, very fertile, the offsprings there's a good chance that the offsprings will become very fertile too.
Excuse me, Daniel.
Yes?
What sort of lighting do you use in the bird room?
Lighting, the lights.
Yes,
What do you
right.
ask? These are normal lights. This one is only for the night, and if you watch it like this, these are normals. I didn't use what we call. Is it better for you like this, or is it better for you like this?
That's good.
That's not better like this.
That's a good view, that one.
That's a good view, yes.
Well, in the morning I have sunshine coming in, and then I often also open the window, and the lights. Everything is automatically. I can show you how does it works downstairs. There's a baby that came out. Oh. Okay, now we're going downstairs. Here again you can see the soft food, the mix. There's a lot of different herbs inside. They get 40 eggs a week. So eggs is very important. Here you go downstairs. Here is the toilet for me and for Budgie people. And here was the water. In here is it looks terrible, so we go out again. Here's the place where I keep that's my seed mixture. It comes from Belgium, von Robijs. I'm very pleased with the quality, and yeah, everything I use daily is in here. And now we're downstairs. There's another 16 breeding cages. They are new. At the beginning, I only had 18, and now I'm breeding with 96. And yeah, here's the youngster flight. The Violet hen. These are all young birds that will be used later. Yeah, when they are old enough, they will be paired up, and then I will sell the older ones. It's always about the same. This hen here, she's the oldest hen I have. She's from 2015. That means she goes to the 6th year, and I will soon pair her up with that gray-green cock. Until in winter time she still had babies, and now she had a long break, and now she seems to come back in condition, and I'm very positive that she will produce youngsters again. That's really the oldest bird at my place that still breeds, but not that's unusual. Often I sell my hens after 2 years or even after 1 year. The cocks I keep, the best cocks I usually keep 2 seasons before I sell them. That's a melanistic Spaniel. Yeah, and if you watch here, you can see lots of golden face. That's a golden face hen. That's a normal hen, and that's a hen. I like her a lot, but she's thick. I will use her for albino for sure. That's a perfect hen. She breeds some chicks, but she needs a rest. She's always beautiful, always in condition. This hen here, she was the European winner, best adult hen last year in Karlsruhe. She doesn't want to show herself.
Daniel, how long do you rest your hens and or cocks after breeding?
Well, cocks, no, as I told you, my breeding season is about 7-8 months. That means 4 or 5 months the birds are resting. And there are hens, this sky blue hen, for example, she's a young one from last year. I made 1 round, and after that round she was tired and she didn't lay again. So I gave her a rest. And there are other hens. Normally, as everybody knows, big hens like this are difficult, and small hens like this one are easy to breed with. But that's most of the time that works like this, but not all the time. This hen here, for example, she's an 18 hen. I'm not sure how many rounds I made with her. She just did not want it to stop breeding. And when I think I made 3 or no, even 4 rounds, then I stopped breeding with her, and she was she went on laying eggs in the baby flight, and she always continued laying. So I paired her up, and immediately she bred another 4 or 5 chicks, and so on. And now finally I could stop her. But I mean, wild budgies are prepared to breed a lot of youngsters. And in Australia, in the wild, they breed as long as they have good conditions to breed. That means enough water and enough things to eat. And as long as they have it, they don't stop it. And yeah, I mean, at my place, it's difficult to say the birds that now it's time to stop, because yeah, my birds get about the whole year the same seed mixture. I do not, many people feed something different in the breeding season than, or before the breeding season than in the resting period. My birds are getting more or less the whole year the same thing. And yeah, I think there's always a few birds that need to grow, and I do it like this. I don't change the feeding routine. Down here there are also breeding couples. Yeah, it's the same like above. You see 7 fertile eggs, 3 babies, happy father, happy mother. That's the way what you want to see. Also here I want to breed violet. I want to try to breed violet yellow-faced spaniels.
Yeah.
Yes, is there questions?
Uh,
I heard the voice. That was
yeah. What's some of the major improvements you've noticed in the hobby over the years, Daniel?
Say again?
What are some of the major improvements that you've noticed in the birds?
Improvements? Or what?
just general improvements in the birds,
At my place or all over the world?
or what you've seen yourself personally?
Well, I mean, if you compare the birds nowadays and compare them to what we had 20 years ago, you see there's an extreme evolution. The birds change completely, and I mean, the winter birds from the European show, that's the biggest and most important show in Europe. Well, English people won't be happy about that, but I think I think the overall quality is higher than in Doncaster, but that's my personal opinion. But when you see the picture of birds that were winning 20 years ago and compared to the birds that win nowadays, there's a huge development, and it would be interesting to see whether in 10 years we still think that these, or 20 years we think again that these birds from nowadays, they were nothing special. But I think I realized in my first few years, I always tried to make the birds bigger and better, and but you can't go further and further. You can go until a certain point, but I realized about 10 years ago, if you compare my birds 10 years ago and what I breed nowadays, I changed my birds a lot. My birds were much bigger, much rougher, and but I realized that I'm losing fertility. I get too much feather on the birds. Look at that bird. That's the face I really like, and that's the style of birds that I want to go for now. And these birds, oh, that was dangerous. I could stop it with my feet. These are 3 owned babies. That's from another couple. It's a cobalt spaniel. These are 3 owned babies from the couple above. You see again yellow face. That means that lovely cinnamon light green cup is carrying the yellow face factor. It also could mean that the hen is a double factor. I don't know yet where the yellow face is coming from, but I don't really care about. For me, as I told you, whenever there's a newborn baby, it's fat, it's a cinnamon. Yeah, nice. Here is a violet sky, and that's a cobalt. The goal is to breed violets from that couple. And going back to your question, what's the in which direction shall we go? When I see nowadays what people are showing on Facebook, that's very dangerous, I think. Many people just show the face of the birds, and you don't see, is there a tail? Does the bird have any cysts? I would absolutely not breed with cysts anymore. I used to do it, but when you breed with cysts, as I told at the beginning, every feature you have in your birds, all the good ones and the bad ones, they come back. And if you breed with birds with cysts, sooner or later the youngsters have cysts again, and that doesn't make sense. This hen normally I wouldn't use, and also that cock is slightly ticked, but it was a love couple, and have a look, that's one of their babies. There are more in the nest box. It's difficult to see, but I don't think that bird will become flat, and he has the super face, what I like, and but maybe some of the youngsters from that couple, from that baby, that's a bird I will breed with for sure. Maybe some flecking will come back, but it's not that bad. If you see of the face from that cock, there's a very special feather structure.
Daniel?
Yes.
have you always flown your hens and cocks together?
Always. I never did something else. Many people are asking me about this, and they cannot understand why I do it, because most people keep them separately. But I think, look, that's a violet spangle, yellow face. That's what I want. I never had something else. I knew from other people, well, most breeders in Switzerland, they keep them separately, the cocks and the hens, but in my opinion, it's completely wrong. What are they doing in nature? They all are together. And I can't see any single reason why I should not do that like this. They have to fight, especially for young birds. It can be difficult when they are fighting. When they come, let's say, where's a baby bird? Here's a baby bird. When he comes down here, he has to fight. He has to find the food and so on. And upstairs, there are the bosses and mainly the hens. And he has to fight and find his position. And that can be strong, but a bird has to go through it. And I think birds, they learn the behavior. They see how cocks are acting, how hens are acting, and they learn a lot. And if you keep them separate, as I told you, I keep the babies. The first few weeks, I kept them separate. And then they come downstairs. And in the baby flight, I always leave a few birds together with the old ones, a few adults, just to learn. I think that's good for the babies, that they see how to behave. And if you have a lot of birds with that are very nervous, all your youngsters will be nervous as well. And if you mainly breed with birds that are tame, there's a good chance that the youngsters will be tame as well. The behavior of a bird on the show bench is for me very important, and there's no doubt that goes on. Look at that one here. He's a direct son from the European show winner. Oh, good. A new baby.
Which is that bird, Daniel? We haven't seen him yet. Oh, there he is.
That's him. He has also super show behavior. Now it's the first time that all eggs are fertile. But I just show you, his father had an outstanding show behavior, and so does he has. And I'm sure that stays in the family, the way a bird acts. If he's nervous, and if he sees that all the other birds are nervous also and fly around, then I come in. I just sold recently a super hen to the UK. Well, for a good price, but at the end, the guy asked me, why did you sell the hen? She's outstanding. I told him, yeah, she's outstanding, but all the time in the evening when I come in or when I put off the lights, she starts making, she cries, and she makes the other birds nervous. She's a young baby hen, but I'm quite sure that she will do it at the new place as well. Let's hope she won't. But as I told you, I have enough young birds every year to make a selection and only keep the birds I really want. And so you don't need to keep a bird that is beautiful but has not the behavior you want to see. Any other questions?
Do you use a filtration system in your room?
For the air.
Yes.
Yes, I can quickly show you. So here's the big slide. These are brothers. They don't know that they are brothers. One is already in the first mold, and the other one, or second mold, and the other one just starts. So going back to your question, you see here, there's a filter. Here is the air coming out, and in here, the air is coming in. And at the moment, all the windows are opened. I can close them automatically. It's as well the light here. That's everything on the control, on the electronic control. And during the winter time, I have to close because it's too cold here. When I was a boy, in winter time, we always had snow. But nowadays, yeah, sometimes you have a little bit snow and then it disappears again. But anyway, it's certainly below zero, and that's why in here the whole room has a heating system. Both floors have body heating, and in summer times I use it for cooling, and in winter time I use it for heating. We have in our garden, last year we made a big hole. Well, I didn't make it myself, I paid for it. A big hole into the ground, 300 meters. And now we take the energy, the heat out of the ground, and we can easily heat our house in the bird room. And as told before, we use it also for the heating, for cooling. So here, going back to your question, there's the, yeah, all this equipment here is for cleaning. You see 3 different levels. That's the first level. This here is the second level. And here's the third level. And what's going out should be clean air again. I had to do that because my wife is a strong asthmatic, and also for our neighbors, so you really don't smell anything at all from the bird room. If you are in here, there's very good air, and what's going out is good air as well. Here, that's the whole, this is the alarm system that I won't explain you, but the whole room is under control, and it goes directly to the police if anything ever should happen, and a few minutes later the police will be here. Here is the, well, I don't understand it myself. I cannot use it. I just know how it works, but I cannot change anything. Here's everything is under automatic control. So that means the heating, the air ventilation, and the light, it's everything under automatic control. Here I can show you, at the moment we have 22 degrees. And that's for controlling the heating, and it's off at the moment. I don't want to cool down, I don't want to heat, so that's why it's off. And if I want to change something, I can give it up. Below here, the whole construction of the building, everything is 85 centimeters high. And below here, there's space for there are two cartons of red millet left, and that's important to have enough space where you can put the millet. I get twice a year millet from France, from Guillaume Fosé, and yeah, you need to have enough space to keep it somewhere. Good. Now ask questions if you have something.
How many budgerigars do you breed a year, Daniel? Did you say that earlier? I'm not sure.
700-800.
700 to 800.
Yeah, sometimes more, sometimes less. This year it seems to be a very good year. With lots of fertility, with lots of nice youngsters, and yeah.
Do you think keeping routines, day-to-day or week-to-week routines, are a really important process for breeding budgerigars?
I don't understand.
Do you keep strong routines in your processes, in cleaning and feeding and watering?
Well, sometimes yes, sometimes not. Normally I do everything about the same in the same order again and again. But yeah, sometimes I don't have a lot of time, and then everything needs to be done quickly. And yeah, when I have lots of time, I can do it properly and slow, and then you need more time. If you have seen, I never put twice the same color together. That's a sky blue split opaline split cinnamon together with an opaline gray green hen. And yeah, most of my birds are split blue, and most of my cocks are split cinnamon and opaline. I think, no, not I think, I know that birds that carry the cinnamon and the opaline gene are stronger. And I never had a show winner anywhere that wasn't either a cinnamon or an opaline himself, or at least he split cinnamon and opaline. And that's a typical pairing, a normal cock, split cinnamon, split opaline, to a cinnamon opaline gray green hen. Big boy to a smaller short feathered hen. For the same reason again, I don't want to make the cock bigger anymore. He flies okay, he's complete in feathering, but for me, he's too big. I don't want the birds to get too big, as told before.
Daniel, I have a question for you. Size of your nest boxes?
Yes. The size?
What size are they? Dimensions?
Oh, no idea. Aha, the nest boxes. The nest boxes I know. The nest boxes are 70 length with 84 high and 52 deep. I thought you asked for the size of the nest boxes.
Yeah.
25 with 20 with, let me see, 24. They're quite big, but yeah, I think, well, you can, that's the Östringer, Siegbert Östringer is the guy in Germany who made me the whole equipment. That's the standard size. They also could be a little bit smaller, I guess. But I mean, you see, I always keep 4 babies in a box, and when they are big, the box is shortly quite full. I think, yeah, that's a good size. They could be a little bit bigger, but yeah, I think it's not so important. Important is that the budgies is the size of the cage. I wanted to make 80. Oh, my daughter. Ja, Mausi? Wieso? Ach, die Frisur, du bist mir eine. Tschüss, Mausi. Wann kommst du heim? Huh? Okay. Now I lost what I want. I forgot what I wanted to tell you.
Well, it's on the nest boxes, Matt.
Ah, the size of the nest boxes.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's not that much important. important is that I wanted to make it 80, but because of the size of the room, I would have lost too many boxes by making it 80. But I think 80 or 90, if in Australia you have no problem with space. In Switzerland, everything needs to be small because in Switzerland, we don't have enough space. I think Australia is, I think, 80 times bigger than Switzerland. Switzerland is just a small country, but that's a nice look at the hen. That's always things like this I love to see. A hen that is feeding her chick.
Daniel, do you think the amount of time you spend in the aviary with your birds, and I expect that you handle your birds a fair bit as well. Does that help them in being as tame as they are?
Sure. I mean, look at the hen. I can go close with the camera. She's absolutely not afraid. This one goes on feeding the chicks. They know me. These are two young birds, and they're a little bit shy, but normally they're very tame. And I'm sure if they realize that human beings aren't dangerous for them. I have a few birds that are completely tame, or they come out and they play with me, and I'm sure that helps on the show bench. If I mean, I'm a judge as well. If you have a bird that is completely shy and flies around, and he will never be able to win a show, no matter how good the quality is. A bird needs to be tame, and he needs to be. You must go back.
Well, Daniel, we did discuss the other Thursday about not going too long on you, but I think you've been enjoying yourself too much. And I certainly know we've been enjoying your hospitality and showing us everything. Are there any other key elements or items that you'd like to discuss with us?
He's disappeared.
He's coming back. We lost him. There he is. He's back.
Daniel, you may have heard,
yes.
I'm not sure, that I said...
I didn't wait. I have to change the... Okay, good. Just ask.
Yeah. Daniel, I'm also one of the worst for leaving cage doors opened as well.
Say again?
I'm one of the worst for leaving cage doors open myself. So, yeah. Daniel, in concluding, are there any final tips or hints that you'd like to give all of the people that have attended tonight from your vast knowledge of breeding budgerigars for decades?
Oh, I still think it's a great hobby. I met a lot of interesting people in every country. Some people I don't really like, but there's a lot of very funny guys that are breeding budgies. And I hope that COVID goes over and we soon can have shows again. I think to make it only on the internet, it's not, I mean, of course for you, for Australia now, that's a great opportunity because you cannot travel here. But I think with a Zoom meeting, you can get impression of the stock. But many people are saying there's no need to make shows anymore. We can make internet shows. And I think that's completely wrong because on the internet, the judges cannot make regulation. They cannot judge after rules. Most of the time, you just see a small part of the bird, mainly the face, and you don't know is there a tail, are the wings complete, and so on. And that's an incomplete bird is something completely different. And again, we are breeding show budgies. We don't breed pigeon. In many starts that I've seen in my life, most of the birds were sitting on the floor, and and aren't able to fly. And I think that's not the direction we should go for. We should try to find birds that like to sit up the perch, that breed naturally. And also, I know in Australia, artificial insemination is a big issue, like everywhere. I think it's the wrong way, but it's something I guess you can't control. But in my opinion, if a bird is not able to breed naturally, you shouldn't use him because something is wrong. And yeah, I mean, what you reproduce by using artificial insemination, you reproduce birds that can't breed again. And there's no sense to produce birds that can't breed. I think we have a responsibility about what we create. And many people, they create more or less monsters. They're big birds, but they can't fly anymore. They don't see properly. You have to be careful that the eye, the feathers above the eye, you see, let's take that one from the side. The eye has to be completely free. If that's not possible, some years ago I bred an outstanding crest. He was really enormous, but he had so much feather above the eyes that he couldn't see properly anymore. And yeah, I sold him to Bahrain or to, I don't remember, I sold it somewhere to an Arabic country. But that bird, wait, you see now, how that's interesting, the light turns off. Now, step by step, the light will turn off, and that happens as well in the evening. And now it will be, I put light again on. I make this twice a day. Well, in the morning, light slowly goes on. At midday, light slowly goes out, and 2 hours later, light comes up again. And after in the afternoon now, my birds will make a break, 2 hours, and after that break, it's a pity that you won't be here anymore. You will see all the hens are coming out of the nest boxes, and they will start mating. And I saw that, well, 25 years ago at Brian Byles' place in the UK. I saw that he's making this in the afternoon. And he told me since he's doing that, he has better fertility. That's why I tried it myself as well. And yeah, I was getting better fertility. These are two crest birds, but I'm not successful with them. But did you understand? My birds are making a siesta in the afternoon so that, yeah, to be ready to breed, to mate after the siesta again.
Daniel, I'd just like to say with a lot of confidence that our club would love to invite you back to do a follow-up to show us what happened between tonight and next year in another presentation from yourself, if you would do us the privilege. And and I'd personally like to thank you for the time that we've been communicating. For many people, even after midnight last night for myself, with you, and we went through a number of things. It's been a privilege, and I think everyone else would feel the same. Lucas?
Yes, Daniel, we really appreciate it, and I think there's been a lot learnt by all, and we're certainly in awe of the quality of your birds. And the Australian Budgerigar Society will be sending you a certificate of appreciation as well. And yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Okay, good. I hope, yeah, you enjoyed it, and we stay in contact. I'm hungry now. I go and eat something, and
Yes.
then I have to make a big journey with my big walk with the dog.
Okay.
He wasn't happy today.
Well, thank you very much, Daniel, from everyone around the world and including Australia. And we look forward to hopefully seeing you in Australia again.
Good. Yeah, I'm sure I'll come back. It's a little bit far away, but as I told before, I really had a wonderful time with wonderful people in Australia, and I come back one day, promise.
We look forward to seeing you, Daniel, in Australia soon.
Yes.
Stay safe and well, my friend.
Thank you, everyone. It was really a great night. Thank you, Daniel.
Yes. Thanks,
Okay,
everyone,
take
for your
care.
attendance. We
Goodbye.
appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, Daniel.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Great stuff.
Well, thank you. I hope
Thank
you
you so
really
much.
enjoyed it. I thought that
Take
was
care.
there's a lot of information there, especially to our international guests and friends from
Yeah.
overseas that joined us.
Well, it's great to see.
We had people tonight from Pakistan, India, Mexico, Brazil.
Thank you so much. It was very nice time. Thank you to all.
Thank
Not a
you
problem.
from South Australia.
Yes, South Australia, we can't forget you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. Thanks.
Oh,
Luke.
yes, as well.
And down at Tassie.
Oh, and Tassie.
That's
Beauty.
We weren't sure. Oh, that's great.
It's been a pleasure.
Go on.